game, as well as have luck on their side later in the night? Only time will tell. As always, my name is Whirler, and casting alongside me tonight, we have Anti.
Hello, hello. Glad to be back yet again. And we have some very interesting bans coming out from the side of Skill Base. That's 3 bans towards the jungle, and the immediate Ornn pickup from the side of Fraud Squad. And honestly, I don't know, because I like Ornn as a champion. I think that he's good. I think that if you're first picking Ornn, there have to be better picks out there. Because Ornn, there's so many things that you can pick into Ornn to make his life a living hell. You know, you can pick Trundle, you can pick Set. There's just so many things. All right, there it is. So it's not going to be the Ornn first.
Yes, the Trundle is going to be locked in for Fraud Squad's first pick. B1, skill base going in with pick 2 and 3, and they're looking to match this with Urgot. That would be interesting if they lock that one in. I'm not too sure how that one will go. How do you like this matchup, assuming that both of these are going to be top lane? Because Trundle could be flexed either which way in the jungle or top.
I can be real with you. I have no idea how this matchup works. But one of the biggest things that Trundle has is that his level 1 is ridiculously powerful because, he has auto Q auto, then you proc the press the attack, and you get a relatively free trade. But Urgot, on the other hand, if he starts his E, has one of the strongest level 1s in top lane, period. So Urgot can contest Trundle's level 1. So the thing is, after that point, the question is, does Urgot still have the ability to hold on? Because Urgot's laning phase is actually relatively weak until you hit level 6. And when you hit level 6, you're fine. And when you hit level 9, you're good. But Trundle is one of those champions that has a very strong laning phase early on. So we're going to see a little bit of... we're going to see some struggles back and forth if we see it in this top lane. And the Veigar are going to be picked up early, which I think is a relatively good pick because Thero usually doesn't play assassins, mostly just going to be ranged artillery mages, which are very good from the side of Therocles, don't get me wrong, but they're also not going to heavily pressure this Veigar.
Right. I feel like if Therocles was to pick up an artillery mage, it would just be food for Gouchmaster here in this mid lane, and that's exactly what he's throwing out there. He's throwing out the big cards already, locking in the Jhin as well to match the enemy support on the other side. They have a lot of slow damage output coming out on the side of Fraud Squad, though. I'm not too sure how to feel about this.
The biggest problem I see with Fraud Squad's composition right now is that they lack hardcore DPS. So if skill base just pick a tank composition at this point, then I don't know if Fraud Squad are actually going to be able to burst them down. Because, sure, Veigar can hit you with Primordial Burst and his W as well, but Braum just shields the ulti, and the W, sure, it'll do a lot of damage, but that's one ability.
And picking up Lissandra here really adds to that problem for Fraud Squad. Having a sort of beefy control mage such as Lissandra really helps champions like Urgot and Braum. They're going to have a very, very established front line here on the side of skill base.
And this is a very interesting Nico ban coming out, which tells me that Skillbase might think that the Veigar could actually be in the support.
Which is definitely viable.
Definitely can work, and Veigar Jhin is actually very strong. And it would also mean that Fraud Squad still have the ability to have more actual DPS on their team composition. And the Shen ban, so they're also calling out Trundle being in the jungle rather than the top lane.
So definitely good call-outs here to call out potential flex picks here on the side of Fraud Squad as we lock in that Lucian ban potentially could be swapped over and head over to the second phase of picks. I'm not too sure how I feel about them dropping Lucian off the table. I feel like Lucian Braum, yes, being a very, very strong lane in and of itself. If it was to be Veigar in the support role, that I feel like already checks off the matchup here and now. But they do lock in the ban. Lucian is taken off the table. Zishan is not going to be able to pick that one up. They will be picking up R4 here in just 17 seconds. And I'm curious to see what they're trying to match this bot lane with, or if they're going to call their bluff and save the AD carry pick for final pick.
And one of the big things is that Lucian Braum, very, very strong bot lane, and actually does absolutely dump on Veigar Jhin. And we saw Zishan using Lucian to a very strong extent yesterday. We're just going to see the Volibear picked up Kind of surprised to see it this late into the draft. It's a very strong pick, very easy to be effective on, and Fridge very much plays this well there.
I definitely love to see Fridge on a very comfortable champion here coming into the game. That matters, and it is going to be Karma picked up for Fraud Squad. So assuming that's going to be played in the support role, we're putting that Veigar for final in the mid lane, and we're going to find out just where this Trundle is going here in a couple seconds. I'm excited to see exactly what these two drafts are able to accomplish. Skill-based have a very, very tanky comp coming out of them, just like you were saying, really drawing the negatives that Fraud Squad has and using it to their advantage.
Yeah, I think at this point, skill-based just needs to pick a long-range AD carry, and you should be good to go. That's going to be a Mundo top, I believe. So there are going to be some frontline from the side of Fraud Squad. And I think as long as skill-based pick a hyper carry long-range DPS like Jinx, that would be absolutely perfect to play in this game. Jinx would be good. Vayne would be okay.
I think I like a Caitlyn with this front line.
Caitlyn would honestly be really good. The thing about Caitlyn is that you have to make sure that you win.
That is true. And that is going to be the Jinx locked in for skill base. So they're going for that full frontline late game DPS Jinx build. And honestly, I'm all for it, especially against the Mundo. Jinx is one of those 80 carries that doesn't struggle too much later in the game against the Mundo.
Mm-hmm. And
especially after you pick up a Last Whisper.
Yes, absolutely. And as long as someone else can pick up the Grievous Wounds, we should be seeing a very good transition into the mid to late game from skill base here, and I'm excited to see how this goes. Honestly, I'm gonna be rooting for skill base here because this is the playoff contention on the line.
We want to see the underdogs perform their best and try to lock their spot here in the finals as we have a top lane invade of the first game of the day. We are in it to win it, ladies and gentlemen. And SKL are going for a very beefy top invade with Roy Shao on the Urgot, ready to pop the E-Up Papa Bear, lying in wait. Braum checking out the bush first, is going to get the slow on Papa Bear. Should be able to pop the shield if we get two more autos here. He's just going to walk it out. Gouchmaster did start the E, going to land a stun on the Braum. Is going to call off the invade. Trundle off in the wing, sneakily getting that recall off. This invade is going to amount to nothing so far.
Yeah, actually, one of the biggest things here is like, one, you hit the Mundo with the Winter's Bite, which is cool and all, but Mundo's passive means that you're not actually going to be able to get a kill off of it.
Right.
So not flashing to try to go for kills means that it's overall pretty good for skill base here, especially because Veigar started E. If Veigar starting E means that Therocles has the early push, has the early lane priority, and there's very little that Veigar can do if Fridge and Therocles decide to invade IOYM.
Definitely so. And the thought process of that invade was to get the Winter's Bite onto Braum. 4 autos later, you ruin the shield, and then Urgot gets a flip on him. That's the ideal process. Unfortunately, that was not seen as a neutral. Early game begins, and this bot lane is already looking pretty nasty so far, with Jinx in that rocket form getting some good poke onto Froa Murphy and Raw Dog Ross already.
And it's good to see that Jinx is getting this early poke off because Jhin has that fleet footwork. It's going to be mitigating some of this trading. And being into a poke lane, Kevin going right in.
Kevin walking very far forward, is going to get a little bit of HP from the level 2, going to drop the Unbreakable to hopefully drop some of that damage. Karma too far in the front line. Zishan is going to pick up that first blood before Froa Murphy can. That's an attack speed difference. Froa still at level 1, is going to be able to pick up the double kill. Froa off to the side, stalling as much time as he possibly can while IOIM comes around the corner to help his friend out. Flash Q to get the slow on a Zishan. Froa Murphy is going to get out alive, and Zishan is not going to end up so lucky as IOIM picked up the return kill.
Oh no, it was looking so good for skill base right there for a second, because with the Get Excited, Jinx had so much attack speed and was in such a good position to take down the Jhin. But IOIM coming right down to help out just in time, but Fridge going to invade the top side in response. So very good response, honestly.
Very good alcove play from the Jhin as well, recognizing that Jinx already dropped the warding trinket in the middle bush already, was able to flash over to the wall and deny vision, giving him enough time for IOM to come in. One thing I do want to bring into attention, usually we get a spectator bug of a bunch of different champions not picking up items. but it has been 3.5 minutes, and I don't think this is a bug anymore. Veigar is itemless.
Interesting. So they're going to look to try to go in on Theracles here. Honestly, shouldn't be taking too low.
Not taking too low just yet. Still has the flash to expend. E should be coming up here in a couple seconds to ensure that Theracles is able to get out. And a great turnaround here is going to give Theracles the kill on IOIM. Gouchmaster running with the tail between his legs. The E is coming up. He is getting stunned up by Fridge.
Wow.
And Fridge is able to pick that up over the Veigar wall. And that is a good 2 kills in the mid lane for SKL.
And as we see, you know, SKL, if they get those opportunities, those windows, their early game is honestly relatively solid. We just need to see if they can transition that into the late game very well. And Royale is doing all right up here in the top lane, going to be down a little bit of CS, but as long as you're surviving into the Mundo, you're eventually going to be useful later into this game.
Definitely so. Veigar picking up his starting items of the game about 4.5 minutes into it. Burning the TP as well to get back to lane. Theracles taking the walk as he does not need to burn anything so far. This bot lane is a missile fest, though. Goodness me.
And they're playing this so aggressively. They're trying to look to get those plates onto Jinx. I don't think she's actually going to be able to pick up a plate here. But Jinx is in a relatively good position here. Up a little bit of CS, just going to go back, get that refillable pot, and going to mitigate a lot of the poke coming out from their spot lane.
Definitely so. Refillable pot, one of my favorite additions to the game ever since, I believe, Season 6 when it came out. 150 gold with infinite charges. It saves you so much gold in the long run, and the earlier you can get it, the better.
And Theracles going to get caught out.
A little bit caught over here, walking to get some vision on the chicken side of the jungle. No more flash to expend, but uses the E from Lissandra to get himself out to safety. Very, very close to danger, if I do say so. Is going to have to probably expend the TP, unless this mid lane is pushing in his favor. So that being said, I think he could just walk back to lane just fine. That being said, up in the top
he can walk back to lane, but the question, I think he's just going to expend the TP to preserve priority, because Dragon's up, and they saw that the jungler was on the bottom side of the map.
He still definitely is picking up the Krugs into red buff. Red buff should be coming up on the side of IOIM here in about 30 seconds as he's clearing that up. Pro Murphy's going to take the root real quick into a stun from Winter's Bite. Kevin is doing the CC magic here. As Zishan is taken very low, is going to have to run away. The pillar coming out from IOIM. Raw Dog Ross is going to turn this. Zishan popping the heal. Kevin popping the flash. One lucky Fridge is coming in for his auto ticket. Hitting the damage on Raw Dog Ross. Raw Dog Ross popping the E, just barely out of range of one lucky Fridge. That is very good to get out of that one. But Theracles coming down to scoop up a quick IOIM. That's a quick pick if I've ever seen one, and he hit the lotto on that. They're going to turn this into a dragon, hopefully, as they have 4 members down here in the bottom side of the map and no jungler to be seen on the side of FS.
And IOIM walking up way too close to Theracles, not respecting the damage, and Theracles was just clearing out a ward, and it looked like it was a free, getaway for the Trundle there. But unfortunately for them, Trundle walks up just a little bit too close, and Thero says, well, I'm not letting you get away. I don't care that you're level 4. I don't care that you died once. I'm just going to ult you, and you are just going to die.
Definitely did happen. Jinx and Lissandra here in this game picking up very early kills, getting themselves ahead as they possibly can. And to be fair, seeing a Jinx with 2 kills at this point in the game is so good for their comp, because the quicker this Jinx gets to 4 items, maybe even 3 items, depending on the situation of the game, the quicker we get this Jinx online, their comp is just going to flourish.
Absolutely. And when you're playing a champion that scales well into the late game, being put online earlier is always a blessing. And Jinx being able to pick up those early tier 2 boots means that she's going to be able to dodge a lot of the poke coming out from the spot lane once again.
Definitely. And against Karma Jhin, you normally don't see this much of like a gold difference between the two. They are very even in CS, and Jhin only down by 1 kill, but being ahead an extra kill in a heavy poke lane like Jhin Karma by herself, to be fair, is just very impressive with a very weak early game AD carry like Jinx. Only having very minimal damage to lean on is definitely not easy to pull off in those 2v2s with only just a Braum by your side.
Oh, Fridge going to be getting caught out here.
One lucky Fridge is not one lucky Fridge in this case, as he is going to be cold and dead.
Wow.
Picking up the kill, IOIM is going to take that one back and going to take the Rift Herald with it. Looks to me like it's going to be uncontested. One lucky Fridge in the wrong place at the wrong time. Paid the price for it. Here at the bot lane, we got 3 plates going in their pockets.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Fridge, going to go down there, not able to go with the Stormbringer just in the right time. But they're going to take out 3 plates in the bot lane, which is essentially the same amount that Rift Herald is worth in this early game. So as long as Skillbase can avoid letting Fraud Squad do what they want with that Rift Herald, it's honestly relatively equalized.
Definitely, I would have to agree with that, as they are bringing it towards the mid lane so far. Theracles off to the side. IOIM is looking to catch him out. Theracles opting to go towards his turret, is going to be able to walk out of there with his life and his flash still intact. Nothing was burned on either side. Importantly, Subjugate was already used on one lucky Fridge earlier, and good poke coming out from Gouchmaster. Getting Theracles to half while they pop the Rift Herald under turret. One lucky Fridge is going to have to come for the assistance. Raw Dog Ross taking a lot of damage here in this bot lane, and the Jinx Rocket coming out is going to get both Froa Murphy and Raw Dog Ross really low. Both summoners had to be blown from Froa Murphy in that exchange, and they're going to be able to get more turret platings off of that. As they are continuing to push this going.
As long as they can continually push these players out of lane, it should be fine. You don't have to actually get the kill. As long as you push them away, you get the priority, you get those tower plates, and you're playing Jinx, which is going to be able to push down towers so fast. This is the moment you get that tower down, you rotate to mid, you get that tower. You rotate to top, you get that tower. And you just pump money, gold after gold, into this Jinx, and just keep trying to put her online as soon as possible.
Absolutely, as in the top lane, it's still even in CS by the same margin as before. Jinx did not go back; they stayed for this one. They're going to pay the price as Gouchmaster and IOIM were able to get down here in time. Sean going to get slowed by the curtain call. Is going to flash forward and try to pick up Raw Dog Ross, but Raw Dog Ross will pick up that shutdown. Royale is TPing down, and Gouchmaster with the Dark Matter is going to fall right on his head, just like the tempo of this game. The gold is now even. With all things considered, Jinx and Royale going down, and Papa Bear is going to be able to pick up an advantage up here. Theracles off to the side is going to take the spell immune out and going to get the true ice. Glacial Prison coming out on Papa Bear to force his ult out of him, and Theracles is going to take that and walk it back down to the mid lane. Actually, no, he's waiting off in the wings, looking to probably re-engage on Papa Bear. Does have the W back, as he does have his shield as well. He's just going to pick up the CS. That Royale will miss in this exchange. Theracles coming up with the team play.
Honestly, I think that was a really good play from Theracles, rotating up top so that way Royale doesn't lose a ton of plates. And the W into the ultimate was very, very well played. And I'm going to get engaged on here.
Not going to amount to anything, but the Ocean Dragon is going to spawn, so they could be sitting off in the wings waiting to fight this one out. Jinx is going to get the push onto bot lane, is going to be able to walk into the river before Jhin can ever even think of. And Jhin will clear the wave before Jinx has a chance to get this fourth plating, but is going to get a lot of poke from Murphy by himself. Theracles taking a lot of damage from Dark Matter from Gouchmaster. No Primordial Burst just yet. Forced a flash out from the Veigar wall. Definitely a one-time flash. Has the TP to get into this fight after the recall. Well, the fight is going to start, and Zishan is bringing the damage behind it. Double kill comes out so far. Froa Murphy is going to get stunned up here. That's another auto and a triple kill. But the Primordial Burst with the TP from Gouchmaster is going to clean him right up. Mundo with the TP down as well. Double TP to pick up Kevin off to the side. Theracles TP'd in to help as much as he could, but it is not going to matter here. No flash means he's going to be going down as well. Glacial Prison is going to be used self-cast to get some healing here, but it should not amount to anything as Mundo picks up a second kill, and they're going to bring it to the Dragon.
Yeah, and Royale's going to be getting a lot of plates off here, but unfortunately, the shutdown on Jinx going to be going over, and losing that Dragon hurts, but thankfully, it's not going to be an Ocean Soul. If it's a Mountain Soul, skill base cannot be dropping any of this. But the Cloud Soul means that it's honestly okay for both teams. There's neither team where it's like, oh, this is a 100% must have.
Agreed on that one. Kraken Slayer now picked up by Jinx. That's a spike and a half for her, as so much damage is going to be coming out of Zishan with the amount of frontline that they have. To back this Jinx up, having an item and boots completed already is going to be so good for Zishan to start spiking. Turret plating is fallen. No towers have been completed just yet, and I think being the Jinx that Zishan is going to be able to run this tower down, even with Papa Bear under it. Excited to see where this one goes. Papa Bear should not be able to contest this. This is going to draw Jinx back just a little bit, but it's going to take so much damage. Taken very low. The rocket did go wide, but the zap was enough to pick him up. That's a shutdown and a turret for Zishan, and that was actually a solo turret thanks to Kevin walking away. So that is 900 gold into the pockets of Jinx already.
Incredibly nicely played from the side of skill base there. Sure, Jinx started tanking the tower a little bit too much, but ended up getting that kill, not going to be burning sums outside of the Ignite, and Mundo Shutdown going over to the one person you need fed on this team is incredibly good look for skill base here.
And picking up the Last Whisper already is ready to be fighting these tanks later in the game. Going to pick up the Last Whisper. Pretty much almost every single person, barring the Karma and maybe Vigar, will have more HP than Zishan to make a damage difference very surmountable to warrant a second item. Lord Dominic's regards. So picking that up second, and then hopefully picking up either the Infinity Edge or Zeal item, either or, depending on how fed we are here on this Jinx, will be coming up next. And as soon as you get that IE, you're online.
I'm expecting to see that Infinity Edge as a fourth item, because as long as you can get the Rapid Fire Cannon or the
Rune's Hurricane.
The Rune's Hurricane. Jinx just needs that one Zeal item to really be useful, but this Lord Dominic's Regards is 100% a necessity at this point in the game.
I would have to agree. I do like IE being fourth item on Jinx, but I feel like when you go Kraken Slayer, the mythic passive being attack speed helps you have an excuse to go, or it gives you sort of an excuse to go Infinity Edge third. It's not going to matter too much. You do lose a little bit of movement speed because of the Zeal passive, but all things considered, it isn't too bad, especially since LDR. Terrible. Especially since LDR gives crit now, and so you get that 60% crit damage boost.
It's not terrible. It's just that you hit your spikes earlier, and by hitting those spikes earlier, you can funnel more gold into yourself, which allow you to get to the fourth item more quickly.
I agree with that. And Rift Herald is up here in the top lane. We're exchanging some zaps here between Froa Murphy and Zishan so far. Zishan going a little bit into the jungle there. Definitely taking a peek for some vision. Could we have a fight here coming along as they take it to the mid lane, and the turret is taken here in the top lane?
Yeah, and they're taking the tower in the top lane. It seems they're just going to trade that Herald for the mid tower, which is good from the side of Fraud Squad. They're not going to be able to get too much from fighting over that Herald.
And they already picked up a turret in the top lane, so that was evened out. And having a Rift Herald means that we can get an edge of 2 different turrets on top of this so far. The fight has begun, though. Papa Bear in the back. Kevin going to go down to Raw Dog Ross. And it's going to be Jinx.
He's on free hitting.
Damage as he can. Papa Bear and Raw Dog Ross going to go down instantly afterwards. The heal coming out from Jinx is not going to matter to a Veigar with item and boots. 10 stacks on that Dark Seal is going to push them away, and it's going to be a 2-for-2 total trade, assuming everyone gets out alive.
And it was looking so good on the side of skill base at the beginning, but Gouchmaster and Fro Murphy going to be hitting those crucial skill shots, and Jinx going to be going down immediately afterwards. And that gold going on to Veigar, one of the champions that's best at shutting down this Jinx on this team composition, is boding not well for skill base here, and gives Fraud Squad a very good way to get back into this game.
Almost was a really good fight for Zishan to pop off on. Not enough frontline just yet. I feel like if Jinx would just stay behind all 4 of the tanks here in this front line, she would be fine, but it all just matters how long these tanks can stay up, as Cloud Dragon is coming up.
Yes, but that Lord Dominate's Regard is going to be on board for this fight. So despite Vhagar going to be picking up a little bit of extra gold here, I honestly think that skill base, especially with the inside track here, should be able to get this dragon for relatively free and should be able to get out.
Theracles TPing in for some insurance so far, but the stun going to come up on One Lucky Fridge, and he's going to be taken insanely low to the Primordial Burst. That's a crucial cooldown on being expended, and Theracles with the Flash W into self-cast ulti. Zishan is starting to pop off here. Walking away, the stopwatch was popped off with the flash from Gouchmaster. Kevin taking to 1 HP, not going to matter too much here. And they're just going to pick up a free kill and bring it to the mid lane. 1 for 0 so far. Rift Herald was popped here in the mid lane. And oh my goodness, Theracles went bye-bye to the Dark Matter. Roy Shao is going to fall behind. And that is going to be 2 kills picked up for Fraud Squad on the side. Zishan getting some good damage as much as he possibly can. But he's going to be taken so low. No
Zishan?
Flashing over the wall is going to take down IOIM. Mundo's going to trade over Kevin, but Zishan played that super well. Gouchmaster at 1 HP. That rocket was so close to making it a 3rd kill for SKL. Papa Bear going to throw a cleaver. It's going to go wide. Zishan playing dodgeball over here. Going to throw down the traps, and One Lucky Fridge is back in the fray. Raw Dog Ross going to take a beating here so far, and Froa Murphy's too far in the front lines. Get excited coming out from the Jinx. He's going to be walking more forward. Raw Dog Ross going to have to flash over this wall. One Lucky Fridge and Zishan are pushing up the mid lane. They should be able to take this tower off of that. Vhagar is coming back into the mid lane to hopefully defend that. Raw Dog Ross off to the side. Roy Shao is coming in, and oh my god, that's a dead karma. The fishing pole has been shot. Raw Dog Ross was reeled in and chewed up and spit on stage, and that should be the end of that fight.
Just like that, the fight looked good for skill base, and Zishan was going off, taking red buff, and Fraud Squad find an opening, they get back in, they kill 2 people, and they start chasing for Zishan too far, and just like that, we're starting another fight, and people really want these kills.
Primordial Burst coming out on the bear once again is going to take him out this time around. Volibear did go down here. That shuts down any opportunity to have Baron pressure here in the next couple seconds as Zishan is picking up the red buff. With Volibear down, this gives Fraud Squad the perfect opportunity to get some vision into the Baron side. However, SKL have been taking the charge in here, and this ward looks heavily red favored so far.
And Roy Shao in a bad position here. No flash online, but
does have the team to back him up. IOIM is going to be taken down to half. Kraken Slayer Jinx is going to be able to finish him off with the 3rd hit and the Winter's Bite proc from, or not Winter's Bite, that's his Q. I'm not too sure what the Braum passive is called, but that being said, it was enough damage to take out IOIM, and this is enough of a call to start off the Baron. Zishan should be able to shred this down as much as possible. IOIM being down, that's jungler for jungler, but thing about this one is One Lucky Fridge is back on the map. Kevin taken very low. Shouldn't matter too much. Zishan got off the Baron, so the damage onto the Baron will suffice from that one, and Baron's going to start resetting. Theracles too far forward. Double kill is going to come out from Gouchmaster, picking up Kevin and Theracles off to the side. And this is just a ring around the rosy seesaw fight, going from both one side to another.
Yeah, and both teams are so willing to go for these risky kills and risky plays, but it seems that people still aren't quite on the same page. Like, you need all 5 members to either go for the Baron.
Oh my
god.
Didn't even need the rocket. The damage from the Baron from the initial Volibear E plus the Jinx damage, and good lord.
And another?
There's no way Froa Murphy got caught out there. Is going to go down to Zishan. He's going to pick that up. What are you doing in my side of the jungle, he says, and picks up another.
And, you're going to take down my top laner? Well, I'm just going to take you down. And at this point, Zishan has so much gold that as long as Zishan can stay behind the 4 frontliners, Zishan will absolutely be able to shred the entirety of the enemy team. And if Gouchmaster cannot pop Zishan, then this game is looking so good for skill base here.
And that being said, IE is going to be finished off of that fight. Should be finished. Yes, it is. That's the 3rd spike for Jinx. Isn't going to have the Zeal item just yet, but does have a dagger to back it up. Should be coming very soon with how this Jinx has been getting kills. I can see the Zeal item coming in high as Dragon's coming up here in about 20 seconds.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
And it's going to be the second Cloud Drag on the map. The ultimates are very important in terms of cooldown for Lissandra and from Brahm's ultimate for terms of disengage. And on the side of Fraud Squad, you got that Karma ulti, you got that Jhin ulti. So both of these teams are really looking for this, but I'm not sure if Fraud Squad are really in a position to fight.
And they're going for it. Karma E is going to speed everyone up. Kevin going for the Braum ult is going to knock up a few. But Roy Shao getting stunned up, and Gouchmaster is just eating that for food. Theracles rooted up is not going to be able to do anything else in that fight. Fro Murphy is pushing up here, and Gouchmaster with another double kill. That's going to be FS taking that fight, and they're going to take themselves a Cloud Drake as prize. Zishan might go for an ulti here, but the lineup from FS is preventing that from happening. They're going to pick it up, and they're going to bring it to the mid lane.
Yeah, and that baby cage from Veigar doing so much work. Zishan just got zoned off so hard and was not able to fire off any auto attacks in that fight. And when you got a 14-4 Jinx as your main damage source, not being able to auto attack in the fight, then the fight just becomes so skewed on the side of Fraud Squad here. Veigar's just putting in mad work.
TP coming out from Lissandra is going to start something going on here in this Baron pit. Baron taken down to half. Theracles going out. Rocket's coming out. Gonna kill IOIM. Raw Dog Ross is going to be taken very low. Gouchmaster going to pick up Theracles on the return. They're just going to take a crab and disengage off the Baron on that one. Raw Dog Ross going to have to run for his life on that one. That was a very good turnaround from Theracles and Zishan to pick up the jungler and stop their Baron. They're going to take a mid lane for their prize.
Yeah, and right there, it's not a game-winning play, but I would call that a game-saving play from the side of Theracles. Really good decision-making coming out, and able to take out IOYM, the most crucial member for the side of that Baron.
Definitely so. This mid tower should be going down with ease after Veigar using all of his cooldowns. Zishan getting some damage, though. Gouchmaster forced to pop the Zanya. Zishan on Fro Murphy. He's going to go legendary. Fro Murphy is going to have to flash away from the Jinx zap. Curtain Call is coming out. Zishan taking very low. Pillar coming out to secure that. Kevin going to take the last hit. One lucky Fridge going to go down to Papa Bear. He's going to flash forward to hopefully get this Jinx. Roy Shao will go down to IOIM off of the disengage, and Zishan should be able to run away from this one just fine. Zap coming out is going to go wide. Kevin going to go down, and that's all 1-2 for 3 for the side of SKL. Losing 3, picking up 2. But Fraud Squad's back on the Baron. They have Froa, they have IOIM, and they got a beefy Mundo. And I think they'll be able to take this with ease.
I don't know. Thero's back up, and Thero seems to be king of the Baron today. And Thero is not going to let them have this one easily.
A TP coming out from Gouchmaster. This is going to be a little risky from Theracles. He's going into 4. Is going to be able to sun this one
my
up. Zishan. Same thing, different day. Zishan picking up the jungler. Same exact play made over again. We're watching the sequel. Zishan is not letting them go down without a fight, though. He's pushing forward. Papa Bear off to the side is not going to get slowed up this time around. Back up TP from Roy Shao is going to help Jinx with this. Is going to go legendary onto the Karma, but the Primordial Burst will take him down. Bit off more than he can chew. But Fro Murphy off to the side will go down to Urgot. Both AD carries are down. And goodness me, the synergy from Theracles and Zishan is just bubbling.
And dear Lord, they've tried Baron twice now. Every single Baron attempt in this game has just resulted in the other team dying. And it's so funny that, we see the sequel to the first Baron attempt from Fraud Squad, and somehow the sequel just gets better this time.
And Jinx picking up the Zeal item you were talking about. 4-item Jinx on the last item already. This Jinx is ready to carry.
And at this point, the biggest questions, right, is that, if Jinx dies, you just lose. But Jinx dying is going to rely on whether or not she gets stunned up by the Veigar and then bursted. So, do you go for a QSS or do you go for a Guardian Angel? My first thought is Guardian Angel. I think that is a very good item, and you just rely on your support to go Mikhail's Crucible, so that way you can go up and auto attack. And it's really just going to rely on whether or not they can start fights on their own terms. If Veigar is able to put down that baby cage, Zishan's not going to be able to auto attack, and Fraud Squad can still win these fights. It's not quite free. Jinx is very strong, but Fraud Squad still have an avenue back into this game.
That is definitely true. Stopwatch being picked up by Zishan will answer all of our questions. He's going for the Guardian Angel as his last item. Dragon comes up in 30 seconds. This is going to be sole point for either team if they can pick it up. Papa Bear greeting for the bot tower. It looks like they could pick either side of this fight. And IOIM is going to take the zap. Gouchmaster is going to get rooted up by both Therapies and Jinx. He's going to take him down. Zishan's going to have to pop the stopwatch already. Is going to be taken down by IOIM shortly after. Fro Murphy with the curtain call over all the way yonder is not going to help his team at all. And now he's caught out. Forced to Gale, force away. And that's a 1-4-3. Yes, you took down the Jinx, but what are you doing with these two members to contest this dragon? We'll only have to find out, as it looks like it's going to be sole point for SKL.
And SKL in a very good position here. Zishan going to be going down in that fight, selling the stopwatch for a Vampiric Scepter, which honestly, not a terrible idea, because one of the big things here, right, is that Guardian Angel is a very high value item, but there's also the Thornmail on the side of Papa Bear. And Thornmail means that every time that Jinx autos, she's going to be taking consistent damage. And if you didn't take the Bloodline in the Precision Tree, it's going to mean that overall throughout the fight, you're just going to end up taking damage, and you're not going to be able to avoid taking damage unless you stop doing damage. So if Zishan picks up the Bloodthirster here, you get 100% crit chance, you get a lot more survivability, and it's a decent replacement to a Guardian Angel if you don't have that gold for it.
And as an added bonus, you get to finish all of your crit. You get 100% crit chance to guarantee everything. 80% crit chance is pretty much high enough for most AD carries, but honestly speaking, if you've played enough AD carry, you get that one auto that doesn't crit in the late game, and it just feels so bad. Having 100% crit chance ensures the damage coming out from Jinx is final, and with the lifesteal behind it, as you said, is going to mitigate a lot of the damage he's going to be taking from from the Thorn Mail. They're starting this Baron, and
they're shredding.
Fraud Squad are running up on it. IOIM and Karma in the front line. Papa Bear on Zishan already, but it's not even going to surmount to anything. Zishan is going to pick him up with the swiftness, but IOIM and Gouchmaster are going to take out that front line so quickly. Papa Bear went down in the same time that one Lucky Fridge, Roy Shao, and Theracles did.
Yeah, it's the same old song and dance. One team starts the Baron, the other enemy team gets a wipe, and we'll see if they overextend again and have the enemy team wipe them right back. But it's looking much, much better from the side of Fraud Squad here. Going to be getting this mid-inhib, and should be able to rotate to Baron immediately afterwards.
Definitely so. Baron's still on the map. This Baron has been a contender for the last 10 minutes, and they have not stopped fighting for it. It has looked so good each and every attempt, but every which way, like you said, once this Baron gets started, the other team is able to stop it. And so many things are going on now with this inhib taken in the mid lane, gives Fraud Squad so much pressure.
And Zishan going to be chilling out in the jungle, going to push out that top wave and still looking to stay around the Baron. Because the moment that they see Jinx in a lane outside of the top side, they can immediately run straight to Baron and try to burst that down. But Fraud Squad are largely up on this top side right now.
Definitely so. They do have to worry, or rather, SKL has to worry a little bit about that bot lane, especially if they lose a fight, because that could be another inhib down, or worse, could be the game here if they all go down here in this fight. 32 minutes, death timers are at 40 seconds at the current moment, and we have Baron being started.
All right, part 4, baby.
Part 4, indeed, but this one looks like it's final as the smite's going to go down and they're going to pick up Baron. Zishan is running away from Papa Bear, but the lifesteal is enough to kite him out. One more hit should be enough, but Papa Bear picks him up with the cleaver before that even happens. IOIM and Fro Murphy is going to pick up 3, and they got 40-second death timers. They have a troubling occurrence. 2 Barons left on the side of SKL. They can try to defend this as much as they can. But Gouchmaster doing so much damage in these fights. It is so scary for One Lucky Fridge and Kevin to be able to stop this push. 25 seconds on the team. This could be the ending push they need.
They have to wipe away
to get this game for themselves. One Lucky Fridge and Kevin doing their damnedest to get this game, but IOIM flashing to finish off the Nexus, and that's looking like it's going to be game for Fraud Squad, taking the victory against SKL. Unfortunately, that will mean SKL take the L for the entire season. They played their hearts out. Man.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. SKL really tried so hard for that win. Zishan playing out of his mind. 44k damage. But Vagar running very close behind. That was a game and a half.
Absolutely, and really well played from the side of skill base. I do think that there are some times where everyone need to be on the same page, things like that. But honestly, we've seen a great amount of improvement from this team as the season went on, and I'd love to see them come back another season, right? I think that this was great. I hope they had a lot of fun, and it's sad to see them go out here, but good stuff from SKL, and good stuff from Fraud Squad going to be more of solidifying their playoff spot.
Definitely so. 4-8 right now for Fraud Squad. They're taking their wins and they're putting it in the bank, and they still got more games to come for the rest of regular season to ensure their seeding for playoffs. It's not all for naught yet. SKL, unfortunately, that will knock them out of playoffs for sure. Stay tuned for an interview with your winners. And don't forget to vote for MVP in the chat. That being said, don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon.
Hello, folks, and welcome back. I am Shargan. I've got joining me today on the interview desk, Gouchmaster, the mid laner from Fraud Squad, who just had a pretty fantastic game on a Veigar. Gouchmaster, how you doing?
Yo, what's up, man? Feeling pretty good. Got a big W, looking to secure a playoff spot. Feels good, man.
I'll bet. So I'm gonna ask this right off the bat, just because you do say that this was a pretty big win for y'all. So I gotta ask, how does it feel to be the first team to knock another team out of the running for playoffs?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. It feels bad for like knocking them out, but like you gotta beat who's in front of you, and whatever happens. So GG's to them, obviously. But we needed this one, so we're gonna take it.
Yeah, you don't like yanking people off that ladder, but sometimes you got to do it to keep on climbing, right?
Yeah, definitely, man. If this is WWE, I'm going for that belt at the top. That's all that matters.
I feel that. Well, so like just right off the bat, then. So going into this this game, like as you were looking at the draft, did it look kind of like an easy pickoff, or were you like a little bit worried about some of the members of SKL?
Their ADC's an absolute beast. Like every game I watched, he pops off. So we knew that they're gonna focus bot lane. We saw their mid lanes champ pool. Veigar countered a lot of them, so I kind of focused on that. And our top laner, Papa Bear, popped off like real hard. So that was huge to have him just a beast frontline Mundo running around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then one of the big things that we noticed during this game, it's like you guys were popping off, you're doing pretty well. But around that Baron pit, there were some interesting fights. It seemed like were you basically trying to get the rhythm down? Like that third fight seemed to turn it around for you over there.
Yeah, man, we kept like losing position. Like we win the fight and then we lose position because the Jinx rocket and the guy would just like absolutely blow up our Trundle, which sucks. But like we knew we can win the team fight front to back. It's just a matter of time. We just had to like wait out a couple key spells, but it was tight, man. It was I was kind of stressing, I had to land a big cage or two, but our team pulled it off. Huge Karma shields, huge Jhin ults, and that's it.
Yeah, and so next game you're going to be going up against let's see here. You've got Team UB, who's your next set of opponents that you've got coming up. Kind of looming on the horizon. Do you guys have a plan for taking down the Catboys? Because we did see a huge upset yesterday.
Yeah, we haven't played them yet. I think we forfeited that game, and it's exciting to play against the team that's the best team. Hopefully, we can make it competitive and get the W. But we're gonna focus on just like improvement, and if we win, we secure a playoff spot. I'm pretty sure. So we're just trying to do that. But no guarantees. No guarantees.
No guarantees, absolutely not. You got to get through it on your own skill, right? Well, so before I let you go, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Shout outs to my team. Shout outs to my coach, or our coach, I should say. And shout outs to the Fraud Squad fan club. They're holding it down in our Discord, so that's all good. And that's basically it, dude.
Awesome. Well, Gouchmaster, thank you so much. Really appreciate you dropping by.
Thanks, man. Have a good night, homie.
You as well. All right, folks, we will be taking a quick break, and then we'll be right back. It'll be Blue Bayou Zoo versus the Upsetters Team H Block. Stick around.